Okay, number 9. The square root of 28 plus the square root of 63. We break it down. But the question is, how do we break it down? Because just breaking it down is not the point. You want to break it down in a way that works best for you. Right. You want the biggest square root possible. Well, there aren't too many choices. 4 goes into 28, 16 doesn't, and 9 doesn't, so that's it. Square root 4, square root 7 equals square root 4, square root 7 plus 9 and 7, right? Square root 9, square root 7. Again, in 63, not much goes into 63. 9 times 7 equals 63, and square root of 9 happens to be perfect square. The rest is easy because square root of 4 is 2, so we have 2 root 7. Square root of 9 is 3, and guess what? Look what we can do now. When we have 2 root 7 plus 3 root 7, what can we do? Can we add those, Eli?
5.
Can we add these now?
No.
Why not?
Yes.
Well, can we add 2 root 7 plus 3 root 7s? Let's pretend we had 2x plus 3x. What would we get?
Wait, 5x.
Right. Let's pretend we had 2 tigers and 3 tigers. We'd have 5 tigers. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever this happens to be, whether this is radical 7 or whether it's red cars, you have 2 of these things plus 3 things. It's the same things, and you can add them. 2 plus 3 root 7 is what we do.
Since they both have the same number under the root, you can add the numbers that are just whole numbers.
I thought you asked about the 5x squared.
Okay.
No,
don't worry. There you go. Good job. All right, we're at number 11. It says solve for x, and we've got a right triangle. How do we know it's a right triangle? Ben? It has the right triangle symbol. And what's so special about right triangles? What formula can we use? Pythagorean theorem, which looks like?
A squared plus b squared equals c squared.
Good. That's the start of this problem. Now, Quincy.
Plug it in.
Plug it in. But how do we know what A, B, and C are? One step at a time. Omabe. How do we know what A, B, and C are? You're not answering questions. Okay. Ben. Tina.
The c squared is the hypotenuse of the triangle.
The hypotenuse of the triangle. How do you know what the hypotenuse of the triangle is?
It's opposite the right angle.
Opposite the right angle. So in this case it would be here? No. Koi? There? No. Where, Healy? Right there. That's your C. What's your A and what's your B?
These two.
Either one. So let's make A equals X. Put A equals X. Put it in red pen or some other type of pen. A equals X.
Let's try red.
Let's do A equals X. Stand aside so they can see. Good stuff. We'll make A equals X. B equals 12. And then C has to be the hypotenuse. It has to be the side opposite. There you go. Opposite the right angle. There we go. So now we write this in. We've got X squared plus 12 squared equals 20 squared. And then we solve it. The only hitch with this is you're going to have to solve for X when we have X squared. So we've got X squared plus 144 equals 400. X squared plus 144 equals 400. And we subtract 144. Now we're just in, Algebra 1A land. So Jazzy, what do we do now? We're getting to the end of this problem, but we're not quite there yet. We've got X squared equals
56.
256, right? But what do we do now? How do we get X?
Now you're going to do the square root of x and square root of 56.
Good for you. Square root of both sides. Do it in black, please, so that they know it's an extra step. And now what do we do? Square root of x squared equals what, Lucia? Square root of x squared equals x. And the square root of 256 equals, Jesse? Square root of x squared equals x. And what's the square root of 256? Anybody know?
16.
16. Sweet 16. Who's 16 here? Anybody yet? Few people? Okay. X equals 16. X equals 16. Box it. Shh.
There we go.
Good stuff. So I hope you have that down.
Any questions?
Any questions? Yeah.
Okay.
As this shows, see the square root of x plus 20 times the square root of x plus 20 is equal to x plus 20. And the square x times x is equal to x squared. So we've written this exactly what it says. All that we do is switch things around a little bit. But x squared equals x plus 20. We're almost done. But we're solving for x, so what do? What do we do? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, that won't do it, because all we'll do, if you take the square root of both sides, you'll just get the same thing as we just had. Subtract x and subtract 20. You'll see why. This is a little bit new stuff. This is leading up to the last thing we're going to do this year. So minus x and first minus x. So we get x squared minus x equals 20. X squared minus x equals 20. Now we subtract 20 on both sides. Just hold 1 minute. This is something new. X squared minus x minus 20. This is something new for you. Equals 0. Because 20 minus 20 equals 0. Now, this is a classic equation. It's a classic thing called what?
It's where you factor it.
Yes, you factor it. And guess what this is called? It's not a linear equation, because linear equations don't have squares. This is called we did it in our assembly a little while ago. With Miss Aldridge and myself, we did this. And we sang out negative b plus or minus. What was that? Quadratic. It's a quadratic equation. So there are different ways we can solve it. First, we try to factor it. If we can't factor it, we can put it through our negative b. So let's try to factor it. You can see it. All right. The factors of 20 have to subtract to be 1. Do they?
No.
Well, let's see. Let's take the factors of 20. 20 and 1. Did that subtract to be 1? No.
5 and 4.
5 and 4. Well, let's do 10 and 2. No. But 5 and 4 do. 5 minus 4 equals 1. And if we make this negative 5 and that plus 5, we get negative 1, and that's what we need. So we've got x minus 5 and x plus 4. And guess what? That equals 0. Now, how to finish this? Shh. We're not done yet. We put x minus 5 equals 0. X plus 4 equals 0. We solve for x. And we get x equals 5. X equals 5. Or x equals negative 4. And those are our answers. Thank you very much. We have 2 answers. That's the way it works. Now, if we weren't able to factor that, we could have used the quadratic equation, which is the last thing we're going to learn this year. Quadratic equation. But there it is right there. Those are our 2 answers. And we're done.